Good afternoon. I'd like to warmly welcome you to St Aloysius College and to our first virtual open day. My name is Matthew Bartlett and I'm very privileged to be headmaster of this wonderful college. But this isn't just my welcome, but it's one from our young people, our parents, our staff and our governors. Whatever stage of the college you're thinking of joining, we hope you'll have fun this afternoon, looking round, meeting us, enjoying finding out about the college, and most of all, feel warmly welcomed by the shared experience of those taking part in the tour, interviews, and various conversations which you will shortly see. Most of all, though, I'm actually looking forward to receiving your questions from me and my panel of colleagues, and these can be emailed to us on admissions@staloysius.org. And we will share them with the colleagues joining me from Hill Street this morning. For just over 160 years, this has been a very, very special place to learn. Who could imagine that those pioneers who opened a small school on the 12th of September 1859 for boys, mainly of migrant workers escaping the Irish potato famine, would be establishing a school that would be sector-leading and has become as much a part of Glasgow life as Sauchiehall Street, Central Station and the River Clyde. Now, over 900 young people study here in the very heart of our great city. But they don't just study, they learn. Because every day when I come into college, I walk past the sign that reminds me that we're educating our young people for the greater glory of God and the common good. And every young person here will be able to tell you what that means, but they'll put it into the words of Pedro Arrupe, a Jesuit who said, "Our job is to create men and women for others." And for me, that means young people of whom we're profoundly proud, who are compassionate human beings, who ask what they can give and what they can be that will make a difference. And that's an education rooted in values that I believe every parent and carer wants for their child. Of course, I am very proud of the wonderful results our young people achieve. Some of the very highest pass rates for our young people across Scotland. 100% of our young people get passed higher and advanced higher. 99% of them passed their National 5 exams. And almost 78% of grades for higher and National 5 were at 78%. But you should rightly expect that. I certainly do. We may live in challenging times, but our job is still to create a sense of normality and opportunity for all our young people. And we're as busy as ever raising funds for charities. We're still kayaking at Pinkston. We're playing rugby at our expansive playing fields at Milliston. We're meeting for hockey at Glasgow Green. And we've large numbers of young people aiming for their Duke of Edinburgh awards. And it won't be long before once again music can seep out, as it usually does, out of every corner of a college through our 5 choirs, our wonderful organ, our other music-making activities. Our annual musical will be back, playing hopefully once again to packed houses and giving joy to everybody who participates in it. But our young people are endlessly innovative. They're running socially distanced quiz and movie nights to allow us still to meet socially but safely. There are innovative new ways of fundraising. There is a spirit of adaptability and a determination to continue to offer an experience well beyond what goes on in our classrooms. But for all of these successes, all of these achievements, what I'm most proud of, what I delight in every single day, is the community and the relationships that we create here on the hill in the heart of Glasgow. You may have noticed, perhaps, what we call the Jesuit pupil profile on our website or in our publicity materials. And perhaps you might want to take time to reflect on it, as our mission is to encourage young people to grow up to be citizens who want to give back to the world, who want to make a difference, who want to live good and fulfilled lives, and simply want to be good people. It's what we, and what I'm sure you, want for your children. This isn't a set of beliefs to bludgeon people with, but it's a set of dreams and aspirations and hopes for the future of all our young people. And we hope that each and every day, by all we do, by all we say, by how we support our young people, how they support each other, that in some way we are creating young people who fulfill and exceed our hopes and expectations. I've got the most wonderful job in the world. Wonderful because this is a really very special place. It's a place filled with hope for young people, for their futures. And what I hope is that today will allow you to glimpse just even a portion of what makes St Aloysius a gem of a school, and that you may discover that this could be a place to entrust your child to turn them into men and women for others and continue the next amazing 160 years of our shared journey. And it'd be wonderful, amazing, if you could share that wonderful journey with us. Now, I'm looking forward to chatting with you later in our live question and answer session. But I want to hand you over to our student guide, the first of whom is Scarlett, our head girl, for this afternoon. She and my colleagues will be presenting to you various aspects of our college life, and we really hope that you will enjoy a glimpse of what St Aloysius is all about.
Hi, I'm Scarlett and I'm head girl here at the college. Welcome to our virtual open day. Today, myself and some of our pupils are going to be showing you around some of the key areas of our campus. Here we're standing in our main reception, which is part of the original building, which has been at the heart of Glasgow for over 160 years. I joined the college in first year, and my favourite thing about it is the people. There's such a unique sense of community here at St Aloysius, where everybody is so encouraging and motivating, and I hope you get to experience that community too. This afternoon, we will be showing you around our campus, including our main building, STEM building, and state-of-the-art sports complex. And this is our main hall, where you would normally start your tour on open evening. During the year, we have lots of events that take place here, such as our school show. Last year, our production was Oliver and I played Nancy. I've been so fortunate during my time at St Aloysius to have been a part of so many different productions, such as Sound of Music, Fiddler on the Roof, and Honk. The school show has been such an amazing experience for me to make so many different friends across all of the year groups who share the same passions as I do. And whether your passions are acting, performing, singing, lighting, sound, stage crew, whatever it may be, there is something for everyone to take part in. And here is where we rehearse in our very own purpose-built drama studio. At the school, there are a range of co-curricular activities to take part in out with sport. As well as the school show, I have been involved in public speaking, the drama club, senior school choir, musical theatre, and Duke of Edinburgh. There are also a number of outreach programmes to get involved in. Here's Kathleen to show you our Untitled Chapel and to tell you a bit more about the different initiatives in our chaplaincy.
Hi, my name's Kathleen Irvin and I'm one of the chaplaincy captains here at St Aloysius. This is our Untitled Chapel. Here you can come for some quiet time to reflect and have a short prayer to yourself at break or lunch. As well as this, we also sometimes host masses during Lent and Advent. Every single day we also do the 15-minute examen, which is a time for the students to reflect on their day and the other days ahead. As chaplaincy captain, I'm involved with lots of other things, including the Caritas Award, the running of retreats and organisation of retreats, and also trying to make the most of what we've got during this pandemic. We would usually be helping organise assemblies, but seeing as they're not happening, we're getting different opportunities, such as organising the examens. The retreat programme here at St Aloysius is something really special. Starting in the lower school, every single year, each year group gets an opportunity to go away, whether that be for a couple overnights or just a day, and reflect on their relationship with God and their life at St Aloysius. They're definitely some of the best experiences that I've had at the school. In S6, we also get opportunities to become retreat leaders. This year I was lucky enough to be an S4 retreat leader. With it being at the start of the year, it was a bit of a challenge to try and get some spirits up, but it was a really enjoyable experience. We also offer the Everyday programme, which is a chance for S5 to S6 pupils on a Wednesday afternoon to go somewhere and volunteer, whether that be in a care home or nursery or a primary school. I did it last year and I can definitely say it was one of my highlights of S5. I'm now going to hand you over to our head boy Hunza, who's going to show you around the Clavius.
Hello and welcome to the Clavius building, which is purpose-built for maths, science and computing. In here you'll find our pastoral offices, which have the heads of year. Each year group has a head of year and they know them really well. We know we can go to them if we have any problems. The pastoral team and heads of year also arrange fun social events, such as Wear It Pink or Yellow Day and house quizzes. In here you'll also find our careers office, which has our dedicated head of careers, Miss Shallow. Miss Shallow was a great help to me when I was applying for university and deciding my choices. Why don't we go upstairs and take a look at one of the science labs? At the college we do chemistry, biology and physics. Currently I'm studying advanced higher biology and chemistry, which I'm finding challenging but interesting. Last year I even participated in the West of Scotland physics competition, where we competed against many different schools from the West of Scotland. With the help of two great teammates, we were even able to secure first place, which was great. The teachers here at the college are really enthusiastic, and their natural curiosity really shines through in each of the lessons, which helps make them more interesting. I'll now pass you on to one of our S1 pupils, who will tell you about their experience so far.
Hi, my name is Patrick and I'm in S1. Here we are in the sports cafe, where we come to have break time and lunchtime. I joined St Aloysius College in S1, and even though it has been a very different experience to a normal year, it's still been amazing so far. My favourite thing about the college is the opportunity to try lots of different subjects like chemistry and Latin, and I really enjoy playing rugby as well. As well as my other favourite things, probably one of the other ones is the ref. It's amazing. I found leaving my old school a bit sad, and I was nervous to join the college at first, but then when I first joined I found out that everyone was very welcoming and friendly, and they really made me feel a part of the school community. So the advice I would give to a primary 7 who's thinking about joining the college is don't be worried, because everyone here is very welcoming and friendly, and a lot of other people are in the same boat as you because they are coming from different schools as well. So don't be nervous, just be excited. Thank you for listening, and now here's Jonathan to tell you about his experience at St Aloysius College.
Hi, I'm Jonathan and I'm in S4 here at the college. Welcome to the Mount building, where we have all our art and music classes. I'm currently studying National 5 art. My favourite thing about art is that not only do you draw and paint here, but you learn so much about art history and art culture here at the school, and the teachers really know their stuff. My art's developed so much here. At the beginning of S1, I couldn't really draw that well, but I've got so much better. I can now draw skulls and fruit and animals and different patterns, and I've learned so much about different artists and how to draw in their style, and it's great. For an art school trip, we went to the Glasgow School of Art fashion show, which was really cool. Some of the clothes were a bit wacky, but it was good. For any new pupils joining the college, I would say that take every opportunity you can, because there's so many here and it would be a waste not to. Thank you for your time. I'm now going to pass you on to our hockey captain, Mackenzie.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie Edwards and I'm hockey captain here at the college. Welcome to our fitness suite, which is located in our sports hall, which is on campus. We do our PE lessons and fitness sessions for both rugby and hockey in here, and as you can see it's very well equipped and has running machines, weight training stations and lots more. I started playing hockey when I came to the college in primary 5, and I loved it ever since I started it, and I continued it through to senior hockey, where I've been playing for the first 11 for the past 3 years. I'm delighted to be captain this year and can't wait to have a fun and successful season with all the girls. And we're now here in our sports hall, where we do most of our PE lessons. In S1 to S3, PE is compulsory as part of the curriculum. We rotate through different sports like basketball, netball and badminton. In S4 to S6, you can choose PE from Nat 5 to Advanced Higher. And if you don't choose PE, you can still use our sports complex and part of extracurricular activities like badminton club. S4 to S6 have games on a Wednesday afternoon, and the hockey group's training and matches are on a Saturday morning at Glasgow Green, the National Hockey Centre. You can choose between hockey for the girls or rugby and football for the boys. There's also outdoor education, in which you go with Mr Bagshaw, who's the head of outdoor education, and you do various activities. You can go climbing, foraging, just to name a few. I'm now going to pass you back to Hamza and Scarlett to end the tour.
Thank you for joining us, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your virtual open day.
We look forward to welcoming you to the college very soon.
My name's Mrs Erskine and I'm the Senior Deputy of the college. My main role is looking after the day-to-day running of the senior school. However, my priority is the well-being of all our pupils. I work very closely with the pastoral team to make sure that every pupil feels safe, welcomed and included in everything that we do here at the college. I work very closely with every head of year to make sure that the transitions are seamless and that every pupil feels known and loved by every member of staff. Moving to a new school can be an anxious time for a young person when they're getting all the new subjects, new teachers, making new friends. It also can be an anxious time for parents, and we work very closely with the family at an early stage to make sure that they feel welcome, and all the questions, even small questions they have, we make sure we have the answers for them. Sometimes new pupils can worry about getting lost or making new friends, but we have systems in place so that the older pupils look after the young ones when they come through the door, so your child will be well looked after. As for making new friends, this can be a real worry for young people coming to a new school, and that's why we make this transition hopefully as smooth as possible by introducing induction days where they'll come together and have fun activities that help bond them as a year group, and in their individual form classes where they will meet about 20 young people that will be part of their first year class or their second year class, whatever year of entry they're coming into. The well-being of our pupils is a top priority at the college, and I'm sure you'll agree this year during the pandemic it's been even more important that we put well-being at the top of our agenda. And every teacher in the school, every member of support staff knows that the most important thing is that our young people feel welcome coming through the door in the morning and are loved and cared for throughout the day. Sometimes young people, things go wrong in their lives, sometimes they need that bit extra help, and again that's when the pastoral team work very closely with the young person to support them. And at sometimes we have to use our school counsellors or other agencies that we work in partnership with just to make sure our young people are happy and safe. What I particularly love about the college is seeing our young boys and girls develop and grow and become amazing young people when they leave in 6th year. And my favourite part of the day is definitely when I'm out supervising the pitches or in the common rooms and hearing all the laughter and all the fun that our young people are having, and it makes me feel as if I belong to something really, really special. Hopefully I've helped you understand a little bit more about the pastoral side of the college, and I look forward to meeting you in person in the near future.
Good afternoon. My name is James Clucky. I'm the Academic Deputy in the college. I want to talk to you today a wee bit about the curriculum that we offer in the college and how we develop and support our pupils across everything that they do. We follow the Scottish curriculum at St Aloysius, so which means in 1st and 2nd year we use Curriculum for Excellence, which makes transfer from other schools, whether they're independent or state schools, much easier. So we're working to the same framework. So we follow that in 1st and 2nd year. We aim to offer a lot of breadth then at that point in the wider parlance of a broad general education. So for example in S1 and 2 we have independent individual subjects like the sciences are separate, so physics, chemistry and biology, maths, English, drama, music, lots of languages, so Latin, Spanish, French available, art, lots of different subjects available. We offer a limited choice in 2nd year, so pupils can start to specialise a wee bit in the direction they might want to go, but obviously we want to keep that breadth certainly available at that stage so they can choose some of their subjects at that point. As they move up then into S3 and 4, we would start their National 5 exams, and at this point they're allowed a free choice of subject, and we then construct our teaching columns round about that, and that is repeated again at both higher and advanced higher. So pupils are asked what subjects they want to do without any restrictions, and then we construct our columns based on that idea. That means that pupils can maintain a lot of breadth throughout their whole time, and obviously picking subjects that they're interested in that tie in with their career aspirations. Our pupils also outside of the classroom, they take part in a large range of co-curricular activities, trips, clubs within the school and so on, and there's a wide variety available there, So once again, adding a lot of breadth to what they can do. In S3 and 4 they study 8 National 5 subjects, and in S5 it would be traditionally 5 higher subjects, lots of breadth there as well outside their academic subjects as well. And then our S6 programme is much more flexible to allow people to specialise in the direction that they're choosing. So they could do 3 advanced higher subjects, they could mix higher and advanced higher. And there's time within the curriculum as well for much more leadership roles within the school, getting involved in actual leading co-curricular activities perhaps with younger students. So much more opportunities for a great breadth of the S6 experience, and very much we're encouraging them at that point to start to prepare for university. So they've got a wee bit more independence, and they have periods which they are responsible for studying, for being involved in all these other activities which they might be taking part in as well. We were delighted with our results this year, building on many years of good practice. For us there's always a focus both on the pass rate and the A rate, and we think that's really important as a school, that we're supporting the whole range of talents and abilities within, and encouraging everyone to achieve to their maximum potential. So we were delighted with pass rates at National 5 higher and advanced higher, and similarly A rates at all those levels. Were fantastic, so we're really pleased with the hard work that the pupils put into that. Our pupils go on from here mostly to higher education. Some pupils would choose to take a gap year, maybe for some wider experience in their life, or possibly to pursue voluntary work abroad. We do have, in recent years, we've had a number of pupils who have been going straight into apprenticeships with large companies like JP Morgan, computing apprenticeships, where they do a degree and their apprenticeship with a company at the same time. We have a number of pupils who might choose to specialise at college in things like portfolio classes before they go on to study art and so on. But over 90% of our pupils are continuing in higher education. So look forward to welcoming you to the college, and if you have any questions during this admissions process, please get in touch and we'll get back to let you know.
So my name is Gail Hartshorn. I am the head of S1 at the college. It's my job as the head of S1 to help pupils to settle in to senior school, to look after them from an academic perspective, but also from a pastoral perspective, and help them to make new friends, get involved in the life of the college, and be happy here. So once you have applied, what will happen is we will invite you to come into the college for us to have a wee chat, to get to know you, for you to get to know us, and then the next time you will see me, hopefully, is I will come out to your primary school. That's a lovely part of my job because it allows me to find out from your teachers who know you really well, all your gifts and talents and what you will bring to the college, and to meet you again, so that you can again continue that process of getting to know me, and we can find out as much about you as possible to make your transition as smooth and as easy as possible. So what we'll have a range of induction activities for you to come into, to get to find your way about the college, to start to meet new friends, to get to know who's the teachers who are going to be looking after you when you start in first year. That is can be quite a nerve-wracking experience, but we usually find that people find it quite an enjoyable experience. It actually takes some of the nerves away, coming in and meeting the new people and finding out that they're really just like you, and everybody kind of wants the same things. They want to come in and enjoy school, meet new people, and make the most of the opportunities that are here. So in first year we have lots of social activities and activities to let you get to know the other people in your year group. There will be plenty of lunchtime clubs and after school activities that you can get involved in, anything from a chess club to Lab Rats Science Club. But we also have sort of outdoor activities. We have obviously the rugby and the hockey, but obviously new activities like kayaking that a lot of people love getting involved in for the first time. And if you've already done that, then you can bring your experiences to that. We also have a number of social activities going out. We usually go to the pantomime every year. We have a trip away up to near Fort William to Lochiel Outward Bound Centre, and that's a fantastic way for you to get to know your peers, find out a bit more about yourself, and see your teachers getting involved in some of those outdoor activities as well. So that's a really good thing for us to look forward to, usually in September of first year. Later on in first year we continue with the outdoor activities, and we have an outward bound course again in March, where we go out for days mountain biking, kayaking, and again that's something that people get a lot out of, and it really helps with that bonding experience. So I hope I've kind of answered some of the questions that you might have had. It just remains for me to say that we can't wait to meet you, and we can't wait to start that process of us getting to know each other.
Hi, I'm Mr Anderson. I'm Head of Chemistry. I've been at the college for 21 years. It's a great place to be. Chemistry is on the top floor of the Clavius building. We've got 4 labs, and every first year studies chemistry for 11 weeks. Every second year studies chemistry for the whole year, and we've got big numbers that choose chemistry from 3rd year upwards, and that's because you need to study chemistry if you want to be a doctor or a dentist or a pharmacist, but also because it's a really great subject. And we do lots of experiments. We try and get as much done as we can. So this is a reaction that's hopefully going to try and make some molten metal. And that's the thermal reaction.
I'm Mrs McLeod, welcome to the Classics department.
And I'm Mr Baker.
Every pupil who comes to S1 will do 2 periods of Latin per week. In this time we'll be looking at the lives of the Romans in Pompeii in 79 AD, and you'll learn a little bit about the Latin language.
For pupils who continue to study Latin in S2, we develop our knowledge of the Latin language and we follow the adventures of the Greek hero Odysseus.
From S3 and above, you can study both Latin and classical studies as separate subjects at all levels, from Nat 5 right up to Advanced Higher.
As a department, we've taken lots of successful trips, both at home and abroad. We've visited the British Museum and Hadrian's Wall in the UK, and internationally we've also travelled to Rome and Pompeii.
So we really look forward to seeing you here in the Classics department, where you can learn a little bit more about the life and the culture and the language of the ancient Romans and Greeks.
Hi, my name is Tony Harkins, Head of Computing Science. And my computing journey started when I was in primary 7, using a device something like this. Our pupils come to class with a really powerful computing device, an iPad, and in their phones they carry iPhones, which are way more powerful than my first computing devices, like these ones here. But fundamentally, to get anything to happen requires computer code, and even on these keys were the individual computing code words that started my journey into computer programming. When our students come from S1 through to S6 and learn computing science, our focus is in coding and creating, learning what powers and drives these amazing devices. So when your son or daughter would come to our school, they would definitely get the opportunity to learn a wee bit more about what's inside and how to control our computers.
Well, my name is Mr Ruffin. I'm Head of Physics here in St Aloysius College, and the experience that pupils have when they come into senior school particularly differs quite a bit from the junior school or primary school experience. in that the sciences are all taught separately. And in physics, we introduce pupils to a whole variety of different aspects of the subject. Physics is such a vast subject. It deals with the microscopically small right up to the sort of cosmically large. We discover cosmology in second year, for example, but we also do heat and electricity. We like to get pupils doing as much experimental work as possible. We are very much a hands-on kind of department. And in recent years, we've really developed the use of iPads as measuring devices using Pascal software. In front of me here, you can see a model of the lunar lander. This actually was won by our higher pupils last year in the West of Scotland physics quiz. And I think perhaps just symbolises the kind of energy and enthusiasm that we have from our pupils in the department.
My name's Carol Hutchinson. I'm Head of Art and Graphics here at St Aloysius College. Within Art and Design, we support our young people in developing key transferable skills in creativity, communication, collaboration and critical thinking. In Art and Design, we have a diverse and rich curriculum across both the junior school and the senior school, offering creative pathways for all. We use digital media to complement our traditional skills. Within Art and Design and Graphics, we know that creativity and innovation are inextricably linked, and we support our young people in developing rich technical and creative skills.
Hi there, my name is Elaine Craig. I am Head of History and Modern Studies within St Aloysius College. We welcome your sons and daughters to our department and to the school. We have exceptional results year on year, 80% plus A grades from National 5 to higher to Advanced Higher, and we look forward to continuing that. We deliver a significantly wide and varied curriculum, from Scottish topics like the Scottish Wars of Independence to Mary Queen of Scots, to later European and world topics such as the fall of the samurai and the emergence of modern Japan. We also look at European politics in terms of Nazi Germany, and we look now to an international flavour of the USA. And that's for both history and for modern studies. We have an exceptionally varied style of teaching. We look to promote independent learning. We look to create a vibrant environment where students are researching, deliberating, discussing, distilling information, analysing. And these key transferable skills will set your young children up for a strong academic future where they're confident and interested. And we cannot wait to see them at the college. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Hello, I'm Miss Savage and I'm Head of Business and Economics at the college. Business we start in third year, and that's for the N5. Then we go on to higher and advanced higher. Economics and business are really popular within the college. A challenge for us is to try and get these lessons active. So what we do is we do a lot of collaborations with a lot of businesses around the city. We like to support a lot of lessons with activities as well. And only recently our S4s did a mock tribunal. It's a fabulous subject and a very popular subject to go on to take at university, for which the students are fully prepared. So that's me, and I'm looking forward to welcome you to the college and hopefully see you in third year.
Aprender idiomas es divertido, interesante y fenomenal para la comunicación y para hacer amigos.
Apprendre les langues est utile pour les voyages, élargit ses horizons et est un avantage dans le monde du travail.
Imparare le lingue è pratico, è un vantaggio per la sua confidenza e un'abilità per la vita.
Welcome to the RE department. My name is Mr McKillop and I'm Head of RE here at St Aloysius College Senior School. Together with the chaplaincy team, our role in this department is to provide opportunities for pupils to learn more about themselves, their relationships with others and about the Catholic faith. It has and always will be a privilege to accompany young people on their personal journey of self-discovery. Furthermore, our department is all about helping young people to become more than they have become already, to strive to be better. In first and second year we have a strong curriculum in line with the Scottish Catholic This Is Our Faith programme. In third and fourth year we merge Core RE with National 5 Religious, Moral and Philosophical Studies. And over and above Core RE in fifth and sixth year we also present pupils at higher and advanced higher level. RE and chaplaincy are at the heart of our school, helping our young people to become men and women for others.
Hi there, a virtual welcome to the Mathematics Department. My name is Craig Jameson and I'm Head of Maths at the college. We really pride ourselves here in making maths enjoyable, not at all scary and as inclusive as possible. So whether you're one of our Aloysian mathletes entering national competitions or if you need a wee bit of extra support with maths, I wanted to personally welcome you to the school, with the assurance that we are here to help every pupil achieve their full potential in maths. I hope to see you in August.
At the college we offer a breadth of activities, not just from our traditional sports such as hockey and rugby. We offer basketball, badminton, football, table tennis, volleyball. Again, it's about creating a breadth of opportunities for our young people so that they experience both team and individual sports. It is a fine balancing act between retaining and supporting rugby and hockey, the two traditional sports within the schools, but I think it's also important that we give our young people the opportunity to experience a breadth of activity, and we do that purely by managing fixtures as best we possibly can and creating opportunities for them.
The sports hall is a really great facility because it's available for everybody and not just people who are interested in hockey or rugby or taking PE as an actual subject. The dance studio and fitness suite are available to every single pupil, so it's really nice to be able to go in there and kind of take time away from your subjects and academics.
There's badminton clubs, there's the fitness suite, and it's just, I think sport and exercise are a really great way to supplement your learning in the college.
Outdoor education is a progressive programme at the college. It starts in junior school. In fact, it starts in kindergarten and goes all the way through to senior school into S6. We tend to do it on a rotational basis of different adventure activities. So we go kayaking for 5 or 6 weeks, we go mountain biking for 5 or 6 weeks, climbing indoors and out. This year we're introducing bushcraft, so we're looking at setting up shelters and building fires and creating things out of wood. We've taken pupils both nationally and internationally. We've been to places like Iceland, we've been canoeing in Sweden, and we've been whitewater paddling in the south of France and climbing in southern Spain. It's a great way of gaining confidence and building sort of teamwork skills, communication, looking at ways of overcoming challenges and kind of realising that we've all got resilience and using that.
I think what makes St Aloysius College special is the ethos and the feeling as you move around the buildings. I feel as though there is a real community spirit, there's a real family feel. I think what's particularly special about our college, our school, is that it is truly child-centred. So all pupils are involved and are encouraged to participate as fully as they possibly can.
We're not just a school, it's the Aloysian community. Once you come here, you're now part of a community, your parents are part of a community, and that community doesn't end, or you don't move out of that community when you get to the end of your education. You know, that carries on.
It really has got a special place in my heart. I married an old Aloysian, and I was married in St Aloysius Church as well, and it always will hold a special place in my heart, so it's not just a school for me, and I'm sure it's not just a school for many others.
There was a question that Charlie Parker, the jazz saxophonist, was asked once when they said, you know, Charlie, what is jazz? And he said, if you've got to ask, you'll never know. And it's a wee bit like that, you know, trying to explain what happens here. It's a mixture of things. You know, you'll receive a first-class education, there are dedicated, inspiring professionals teaching you, but there's something else. There's a dedication to service. The children here know they're privileged coming to St Aloysius College. They also know that that privilege, you know, comes with a cost, and that is that you're expected to serve. You know, you go out into your communities after this and you serve your community. You put something back in, you pay back the privileged education that you've been lucky enough to receive, and that happens from the day they walk through the gates.
The degree of kind of responsibility and leadership that the pupils have is phenomenal. For retreats, for the Lourdes pilgrimage, for the Arupi programme. And it's not only the end result that's fantastic when you see the pupils in Lourdes helping the most disadvantaged. It's throughout the year, it's the process of seeing pupils, young people, really enthusiastic about wanting to make their mark in that way, really in service to others. That's something fantastic.
It's not just about the education, it's about the person, and I think that is, you know, that's something that I certainly value, and I think Moya does as well.
This is a special place. There's not really a day that goes by that I don't come through the doors and still have that same sort of feeling, and I don't think I'm unique in that. I think that pupils, staff, support staff all have that kind of sense of we work somewhere special, and I'm proud of that fact.
As a parent, I would say that if you were in any doubt at all about sending your child to St Aloysius, that I've no regrets on any level at all. I'm really delighted with every aspect of the education my children have had.
Hello and welcome back to our live question and answer session here at 45 Hill Street. I'd like to introduce colleagues who are with me this morning. On my right hand side is Isabel Erskine, who is our senior deputy. She looks after everything to do with the pastoral and emotional well-being of all our young people. To my left is actually James Clucky, academic deputy, looking after learning and teaching, ensuring the very best outcomes and support for all young people. And on my far right is Paul Fitzpatrick, Head of Admissions and Wiser Achievement, who'll be supporting your young people through their journey and application and hopefully their arrival here at college. Thank you very much indeed. Whilst you've been watching the videos and hearing about the college, many of you have been actually sending in questions and we're delighted to actually answer them. If there's something we don't touch on this morning, then please be in contact and we will respond as quickly as we possibly can to help you in that very important decision-making process about the future education of your young people. The first question we received was actually somebody asking, well, what actually makes the college special or different from other schools? And I think we've all got a slightly different take on that, but I think one thing that we would all share, and I hope has come through from the video, is that this is a community. I've been here 5 years now. My colleagues on the left and right of me can probably times that by 5, and I think that in itself shows you the way in which this is a community. It's a community of people sharing common values. I mentioned our Jesuit pupil profile earlier. That's values of aspiration for our young people, about instilling values of compassion, about being passionate about what we do, about wanting to make a difference in the world, about wanting it to be a total educational experience. When I first came here for interview, there was something palpable about when I came into the building and the feeling of everybody working together towards a common goal. And that feeling is just as strong now, and perhaps even more so in the difficult times that the country faces, where we are trying to work together as a community. So I hope that's one sense of what, for me, makes it special. But I'd just like to ask Isabel Erskine, who's been here much longer than me, what makes the college special for her?
What makes it special for me is the young people. There's nothing better than walking along the corridors and seeing the smiles and the laughter of our young people as they are walking to their classes and looking forward to learning. Or also seeing out in the pitches at lunchtime or break time having fun with their peers. There's a real sense of community with our young people, and they never ever stop surprising me. They never stop surprising me with their sense of justice, with their duty to service, with all the wonderful things that they contribute to this school. Without them, it wouldn't be the special place it is.
Thank you, Isabel. And James, you've had 3 children here in the college. What's your experience of it?
What struck me coming here, first of all, as a student teacher many years ago, was the relationships between the staff and the students. You were talking about the warmth, Matthew, and that, you're right, it does strike you from day one. And that was certainly something that I wanted for my girls to experience amongst the many other opportunities that the school offers as well.
Thank you very much. And we're asked what are the sort of class sizes that young people will experience when they join us, form classes and perhaps also classes for subjects. So again, James, perhaps you could share that with the...
Yeah, so in first and second year, they receive many of their lessons in their form classes, so they would be around 20 in that form class. They would also have a practical set for their sciences and performing arts subjects, which would generally be a wee bit smaller. And that's similar as they go further up the school. They are allowed free choice in their options in third year, in fifth year and in sixth year. So we will construct the columns around the subjects that the pupils have chosen, and that obviously means that often you'll get even smaller. Our advanced higher sets, 3 or 4 is not uncommon at that stage.
Yes, and thank you. You mentioned performing arts, and I know that you've got a passion about that like I have, and one of our parents joining us today has asked about music studies, saying that their son is very involved at the conservatoire and about links with the conservatoire. Could you say something perhaps about that?
Yeah, so we have lots of students who would be in the juniors at conservatoire, lots of really healthy links. Our judges for our music competitions generally come from the conservatoire. My daughter was one of 3 from her year group who went on to study at the conservatoire. Probably worth mentioning Benny Morris, who was the Young Traditional Musician of the Year last year, so he was one of that trio that went on. So yeah, definitely lots of good links, and we strongly encourage that involvement.
Thank you very much, and indeed actually I remember last year listening to Benny perform at the fundraising dinner for our Scola. That's our 5 choirs, and amazing performer. Very proud to have him amongst other OAs. Isabel, parents are very keen to know about our school nurse provision and perhaps our provision more generally for well-being and counselling.
No problem. Yes, we do have a school nurse, and we are lucky that in the last year we have actually created a new medical centre which is based in our lovely sports building. And in that centre we don't just have a treatment room, we also have a nice quiet room and counselling areas in case some young people need some time out. I'm sure you'll agree in the world that we're living in just now that mental health and well-being is so important. So the nurse not only looks after the day-to-day medical centre, but she's also part of the wider pastoral team, and she works closely with myself and the heads of year so that we can make mental well-being and physical well-being a top priority here at the college. Also, we want young people to be happy and safe and enjoying school life, but we know that sometimes young people can experience difficulties in their life. Sometimes it might be bereavement or loss, or might be suffering from anxiety. And for that reason, or these reasons, that we have employed 3 counsellors to be able to be accessed by our young people if they need them at any time. So we're a real team when it comes to well-being, with the heads of year, the pastoral team, the nurse, but also all staff are really buy into the well-being of our young people being top priority.
Thank you very much indeed. And you're talking about well-being there, and actually unsurprisingly a parent has asked about plans in place should there be another lockdown or the need for blended learning. And I think what I'd like to say about that is that we're actually very confident and we're very hopeful. We've spent a huge amount of time making ourselves as safe as we possibly can about COVID, and it's all based on creating as normal an environment for our young people in what are uncertain times for all of us. And I mentioned earlier how creative our young people and indeed our colleagues have been to create opportunities for pupils to do the everyday things and to have those everyday experiences. So for instance, our senior school head boy and head girl presented their half-term speeches at virtual assemblies. We had a Champions League football tournament within a safe bubble. We had a virtual Remembrance Day service across both the junior and senior school, which was very, very moving. We were able to use the church as we do with the distancing and actually have that normal experience, and a virtual prize giving where we could reward the amazing successes of our young people. But we're also prepared that if we did need to go to blended learning or to lockdown, we would immediately switch to a digital platform using Teams tutorials, using our online learning provision, which is available right through regardless of the circumstances. And if you have a look at our social media, and indeed on the COVID section on our website, you'll be able to actually see what actually went on. And there were actually many, many positive learning experiences, but most of all trying to keep our community together. But actually, we believe that we will keep going safely, supporting our young people, supporting our colleagues. That for me is the most important job that I am actually doing at the moment. We're often asked, and we've been asked this morning, about if your child is the only young person joining from a particular primary school, how the support will be to feel that they don't feel overwhelmed. And linked to that, another parent has asked that in the event of any bullying or any concerns, what actually happens. So I'm going to ask Isabel, as Head of Pastoral Care, to just talk a little bit about that.
Thank you, Matthew. Yes, I think coming to a new school can be an anxious time for a young person. It can also be an anxious time for a parent or carer when you've been used to one school for so long. So it's a very important process for us, our transition programme. We first of all would go out and visit the young person in their school. We would have regular contact with the parent or carer to reassure them about that transition. We also create induction and orientation days where young people can come in and meet the young people who are going to be in their class. And those are really fun activities, team building activities, so that they can get to know each other pretty quickly. We then have taken them down to different classes to see their different subjects, and we assign S6 pupils to the class, so that when they begin in August, the S6 pupils would be taking them from class to class so they don't get lost, because they do worry about getting lost. I think if you're coming from a school where you don't know anyone, that does cause an extra anxiety, and we have a buddy system where we would buddy your child up with someone from our current P7. The other things that we do when we arrive that day, your young person would be assigned a form tutor who would meet them every morning, would pray with them, would have daily notices, but also would be checking on their well-being and would be communicating with the head of year if there were any concerns. So the welcome and the support that your child would receive is so important to us. There'd be opportunities for them to come together and talk about what that transition has been like for them and to see if they need anything else to help them settle. That's if you're coming into first year. Sometimes you might be considering bringing your child into second year or third year when we don't perhaps have induction days or orientation days. So we do spend, again, a lot of time with the family, with the parent and carer, understanding the child's background, if there are any wellbeing needs, what's their learning like, is there any barriers to learning. And when they come in, we quite regularly have taster days where they can meet their peer group and experience what learning is like at St Aloysius College. So coming in S2, S3, S5 is becoming popular as well, and we have to make sure that those transition is as smooth as it is in S1. As for bullying, you mentioned in the question that bullying happens in all schools. First, I would like to say we start with our values at St Aloysius College are very, very clear, and we expect all staff and all pupils, all parents, all governors, all of our community to buy into these values. Our main aim is to prevent bullying, and I think asking our young people and asking our staff and parents to buy into these values does prevent bullying. However, we also have a PSHE programme where our young people get the time to sit and talk about what is bullying, what's the impact of bullying, and how do we prevent it. We have many different events. For example, next week is Anti-Bullying Week, where we'll all be wearing our odd socks on Monday morning to show that we say no to bullying and we accept that everyone is equal and we celebrate diversity. But sometimes our young people make mistakes, sometimes all young people make mistakes, and it's our job as a school community to help the young person who's made the mistake to understand the impact of their behaviour if they mistreat somebody else. So the person who has been mistreated, it's very important that they've got a voice in how we would help them and how we would treat the matter, how we would deal with the matter, and what it would look like for them at every stage. So it's very important to give them a voice in how it's handled. It's also very important that everyone at the school takes responsibility to say that if I saw something, if I saw someone be mistreated, then I would stand up and deal with that. And also for the person who has made the mistake, who has mistreated someone else, we have a job to help that young person to say sorry, to move on, but also to understand the consequences of their behaviour.
Thank you very much indeed, Isabel. Paul, part of your job description is wider achievement, and actually it's as important as admissions. And I think one of our parents has asked, what range of opportunities are available for co-curricular clubs and the like?
Sure. So this is one of the most common questions that I would get asked as head of admissions about what else do we offer out with the classroom. And in any given week, I would say there's up to 50 activities that a young person can engage in. And that ranges from performing arts and takes in the drama club, our school choirs, our instrumental groups in the music department and the school choir. And that kind of culminates in the school show that happens. We also have an extensive sport and outdoor education programme. Rugby and hockey are the sports that most of our young people will start to engage in S1. Beyond that, we have basketball, we have badminton, we have football, we have volleyball, all taking place in the sports hall. Our outdoor ed programme includes an extensive Duke of Edinburgh programme where we present young people for bronze, silver and gold every year, but also includes kayaking club and climbing club, which are both very popular. There's a range of different clubs and societies that happen at lunchtime and after school. These include things like maths club, coding club, film club, Lab Rats Science Club, which is very popular with the S1s and S2s, and we also have an extensive retreat programme that we allow our young people to engage in. There's retreats that run from S1 through to S6, and we also offer our older students in S4, 5 and 6 the opportunity to lead on some of those retreats. So it's a very wide offering that we have out with the classroom, and one that I think young people value greatly.
Thank you very much. And maybe somebody's asked, probably again one of the most commonly asked questions, James, about how much homework is given in the first year, because it can be something that young people get quite concerned about. So.
Yes, thank you, Matthew. Our pupils would vary from subject to subject, obviously, how much homework they get, but on average we'd expect in first year about an hour and a half. From day to day you have some subjects setting, maths would be an obvious one, they get a lot of that, so that would be 20 minutes maybe every day, whereas for a subject like English it might be that it's a bit more spread throughout the week, so they're doing an essay, it takes a wee bit longer. I think it's probably worth mentioning our electronic homework planner called Schoology, which is also a wider learning system. But what this enables is parents to also access what would have traditionally been a paper planner. So the parents can help support the pupil in their homework. And I think also it really opens up the door for communication, and I think that's really important. So early doors that parents are communicating with our year staff and talking about, so if homework is becoming an issue for that student, they can immediately communicate with the head of year, they can communicate with the classroom teacher, and as well as having that awareness of exactly what homework to support their own child.
Thank you very much. And we're talking about supporting young people, and somebody else has asked Isabel perhaps to talk about how do we support young people with additional support needs.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we have many young people with different barriers to learning or different support needs. And firstly, when a young person comes to the college, the head of additional support would meet with the family and the young person just to really understand what that learning need is for the individual. The head of additional support would then meet with the head of year and with class teachers to give advice about strategies that will help that young person learn and remove any barriers that are required. Some children are dyslexic, dyspraxic, ADHD. Sometimes the barrier can be anxiety. There is a whole range of different learning needs that we have at the college, but it's very important for us that we target it individually so that we understand the young person and what they need. The Additional Supports Department spends a great deal of time training teachers so that they do have those strategies, but also helping the young person have the voice to articulate what helps them learn. We also in the college have a mentoring programme where we can sit with young people who might have a reduced curriculum and help them get organised with their studies or help them with homework, etc. We have one-to-one support from classroom assistants, and we have additional classes in English if we believe that this extra intervention is required to make our young people succeed and reach their potentials.
Thank you very much. And Paul, linked to that and about accessibility and equity, what are the eligibility criteria somebody has asked for financial assistance?
Sure. So there's actually no fixed criteria for financial assistance applications as such. We treat each application on its own merits, and the bursary committee will meet and they will consider both the family's financial circumstances and they will look at the application in its totality. So they will look at the young person's green blazer story, performance in the entrance assessment, previous or most recent school report, and the bursary committee take all of that into account, and they will then sort of assess the applications competitively against each other. So there's no, the short answer is there's no fixed criteria. This might be a good point or a good time to point out that the deadline for financial assistance applications this year is the 13th of December. So if you are interested in a financial assistance or a financially assisted place, then first of all, do please get in touch with us in the admissions office, but second of all, please make sure your application is with us before the 13th of December.
And actually accessibility and keeping the college open to the broadest range of young people is absolutely critical to the values and mission and everything we actually do. And one of the questions we're often asked is, well, do you actually need to be Catholic to attend the school? And the answer to that is no. What actually we want is a community that has shared values, and we've talked a lot about those values, and I think those are the values that all of us want for young people, and we want to work together with people. So this is actually a school for, yes, school for those of faith, but also a school for people of no faith or those people who have yet to discover their faith. We want to be as inclusive and as wide-ranging a community as we can possibly do and be, and that's why the financial assistance that we offer is absolutely crucial to keeping a real broad spread of young people and keeping us grounded as the school that we were founded to be 160 years ago, and we try to live up to those values each and every day. So James, perhaps pragmatically somebody's asked, how many Nat 5s and hires do our pupils actually do?
So there would be a norm of 8 national 5s and 5 hires. But I think it's really important that we adapt that to the individual. So there are some individuals for whom that's not appropriate, and we're mentioning the mentoring programme, so there are alternatives available there. And there are some individuals who would like to do more and push themselves at the top end as well. So the nominal figures, 8 and 5, but very much adapted for the individual.
And what about sciences? Are they taught separately in the first year?
So in first year they are taught separately, but they're taught in rotation along with music, art and drama, which is a separate rotation as well. And this means that the first years at any one time are not going to as many teachers, so they still get the extensive knowledge of the subject specialists in each individual science in music and art and drama. But at any one time they would only be with one of those teachers from each of those rotations.
Thank you. And Isabel, we've talked a lot about student well-being, and so how do pupils actually travel to school? One of our parents would like to know.
Because we're a city centre school, our pupils come from so many different areas, so some young people travel in the car with parents or carers, or some young people take public transport, and that can cause a little anxiety in parents at the beginning if they don't know what it's going to be like. But I would reassure parents that our young people travel together, and the older ones usually look after the young ones, and it can be a nice time of the day if they are all travelling down to the train station or the bus station together.
Now, we've all been told to have our mobile phones turned off during this session so that parents can actually hear us and we're not disturbed. But what's the mobile phone policy for young people a parent would like to know, and perhaps particularly in the context of that young people might be travelling to school by public transport and wanting to keep them safe?
Yeah. Mobile phones can be a very positive thing. Even during lockdown, we found it really useful where young people were able to communicate with each other with their mobile phones. However, we do believe that it's a distraction to learning, and for that reason we do not allow mobile phones out between 9 and 3:30. Parents sometimes get worried about their young person travelling, and we completely understand that. So most of our young people will bring a phone to school in case a parent has to contact them on the way to school or going home from school. However, during school time, we ask that young people's phones are switched off in their bags or in their pockets, just so that we can concentrate on learning.
Thank you very much. And actually, it does work remarkably well, and our young people are remarkably good at keeping their phones out of sight and out of mind. James, a question that's literally just come in is actually how we communicate pupils' progress with parents. So I suppose that's about tracking and about assessment.
So we have three main areas there. We have what's called the parent portal. So regular grades are uploaded to that portal so the parents can log in to keep an eye on how the pupils are doing. We have our school reports, so there'll be 2 school reports each year at various points, and very much focusing on what the pupil needs to do to help improve their learning. And we would also have a parents' evening. Now this year we'll be using our first virtual parents' evening. We've trialled that already in the junior school to great effect. And this Thursday actually we have our first senior school virtual parents' evening, but obviously an important opportunity there for communication. We very much encourage though that in between those formal points of communication on both sides, so if staff feel there's a need to get in touch with parents, that they do so, and if parents want to get in touch with the school with any concerns, then they would contact their head of year.
Thank you very much. And for those of you who've been waiting for perhaps the most important question of all, it's to Paul, is actually, well, what are the next steps in the admissions process, which has been asked by a large number of people that I'm looking at on screen. So, Paul.
Sure. So I know this is a really important question for probably all of you watching just now. Usually what I would say at this point is that we would love to welcome you and your family into the school for a tour or for an informal chat with myself. Unfortunately, just because of current circumstances, that's not something that we can offer right now. And I think we had a specific question asking about tours and could people come in and get a tour of the building. And I think the answer to that is, unfortunately, at the moment, we can't offer that. Our priority just now has to be keeping our community safe, keeping our young people and our staff safe, and protect the integrity of those bubbles that we've worked so hard at creating. So the answer to the tour question, unfortunately, is no, but as soon as possible, as soon as we can get people in and safely provide a tour, then that's something that we would really look to offer. And it would be the same with sort of an informal chat with myself. I'm really keen for people to come in and usually, have a conversation, have a meeting. But again, just because of current circumstances, I would suggest that we would do that either over the phone, or we could do a kind of virtual Zoom chat or via Microsoft Teams. So if that's something that you would be interested in, then please urge you to get in touch with the admissions department and we can set that up. I suppose the first deadline that's approaching for us in the admissions process is the deadline for financial assistance applications that I had spoken about previously, and that's 13th of December for them. We'd be welcoming applications from prospective families and parents throughout November and December, and really hoping that those applications would all be received really before the Christmas holiday. And the applications, if you're unfamiliar with what you submit along with your application form, there's a green blazer story that we ask young people to write, which we try to get a sense of them as an individual. What do they enjoy about school? What are their hopes and aspirations? What are they looking to get out of their time at St Aloysius College? We ask them to submit a copy of their most recent school report and a photocopy of their passport. So those are the kind of key documents that we need to receive in order to proceed to the next stage of the application process, which is the getting to know you meetings that we normally hold in the first 2 weeks in January. And traditionally that's a time where we would ask parents and children to come into the school and meet with a member of the leadership team, basically so that we get to know the young person, they get to know us, and we can answer any questions that they have. Now this year, again, that might look slightly different depending on circumstance. We're hoping for the Getting to Know You meetings that we're going to offer parents the option of either a socially distanced face-to-face meeting with a member of the leadership team, or a virtual meeting via Microsoft Teams or via Zoom. And then I suppose the last step of that process is the entrance assessment on the 23rd of January this year. And again, I know we've got a couple of questions about, what are the plan B and plan C for entrance assessment. And I had said to Matthew earlier, really we are operating just now on the basis that the restrictions that are currently imposed upon us are going to continue to be in place in January. And it's much easier then to cope with whatever faces us. So we are planning for entrance assessments to take place in person here at the college, fully socially distanced, in a range of venues here at the college. And it will be slightly different from previous years in that we can't have parents into the building. It will be just a drop-off and go and then collect at the end of the assessment. But that's just, unfortunately, that's the time that we're living in just now. But we are certainly planning for entrance assessment to take place in person, fully socially distanced. And then after the entrance assessment, it's really into the end of the first week in February that we would then letter parents and families to let them know about whether their application had been successful or not.
Thank you very much indeed, Paul. And could I just say in conclusion, please, that you may well have lots of questions as a result of what we said. If you email admissions or you email any of us directly, the most appropriate person will get back to you as soon as they possibly can. We know it's really, really important to support everybody in their admissions journey. It's important, even more important this year because of the difficult times that young people are actually coping with. And so we actually want to make it as supportive as we possibly can. And we will be very happy to set up those Zooms and Teams meetings to have conversations. And just as soon as it is safe to have people coming back into the building, we will actually do that. So please, to encourage you to actually engage with the process by contacting us. We just want to support you along the way. So we've actually reached the end of the question and answer session. There are a few very specific questions which some parents have asked, which we will respond directly to. But I'd like to actually, most of all, thank you for joining us and sharing in our love and dedication for this amazing school. And I'd like to thank particularly my colleagues, Isabel Erskine, Paul Fitzpatrick and James Clucky for joining me this morning. And really to say that actually this is one of the most important decisions that you will make for the future of your child. And we feel a great need to actually help you make the right decision, whatever it is. Clearly, we hope it will be to join St Aloysius College, but even if it's to take you for a journey that ends up with your young person being in the place that is most right for them, then we will actually have achieved something. So thank you very much indeed for all your time, and we're going to finish with just a short snapshot video which will give you a final sense of what this very special college is all about. Thank you. Place. I'm into my 5th year as headmaster here, and I can still remember when I pushed open the door at 45 Hill Street, and you can't capture relationships by a video or by photographs, but you get a sense of the quality of community, and St Aloysius is all about community.
I feel here that teachers and actually all members of staff go out of their way to make sure each child is known as an individual, to look at what their gifts and talents are, and to really encourage them, to bring them on and just to be the best that they can be in whatever that is. And I've been lucky enough to experience that as a parent as well, because both my children went here. They were very different, they still are very different, but they were very much encouraged along the path that was right for them, and people took the time to do that.
I've had experiences that I never really thought that I would have. Like before I came to St Aloysius, I associated school been very different to how I associate it now. It's taught me so much, and I'm really thankful that I get to come here.
Whatever your interests, I think we've got something for everyone, and I think that's really, really lovely.
It's not just about the education, it's about the person, and I think that is, you know, that's something that I certainly value, and I think Moya does as well.
The campus is unlike anything that I would class as a school campus, because it's actually really nice to be right in the heart of Glasgow. You're right in the culture of really what Glasgow is, and it's also really nice to be given a sort of independence to be able to go out into the centre of Glasgow and not just be confined within a ground or a campus. Being in Glasgow is really, really great.
The extracurricular programme is fantastic. There's so much that the children can take part in, as well as what goes on actually during the teaching day.
It's a values-based school. Every independent school should be getting good results. Every independent school should have great facilities. I take that for granted. What I don't take for granted is the quality of interaction between everybody in our community. That's what makes us different.
Pupils from kindy all the way through to S6 and then beyond. Old Aloysians coming back and visiting us, coming back and keeping in touch, sending their kids here, and that sense of family, that when you're part of the St Al's family, you're here for life.